Good morning, Year 2. Today we are boxing up our All About Foxes fact file using the All About Foxes fact file and our boxing up sheet that you will find in your pack. It's the one that says Friday, Week 5 English Boxing on the top, and it's got a nice brown and yellow colour. So, we're going to start off by looking at this line, All About Foxes. We're going to do all of these boxes together, boxing them up this morning, but if you feel confident after the first box to do it on your own, then you can have a go at that. If you would like to carry on using my boxing up to help you, then that's absolutely fine. You can just follow my video all the way to the end. So, we're going to look at this, All About Foxes. What is my feature of the text? I'd like you to have a think quickly. What is this? All About Foxes. This line is our it is our title. So on my boxing up sheet, I am going to write on this line, because we always underline our title, I am going to write title. There we go. So we've got our title, our first feature of our text. Now you'll see that there's a box here which has nothing in it. Looking at our fact file, is there any text? Is there writing in that box? What is it? It is a picture of our fox. A photograph. So I am going to write photograph. You might want to pause some of these, pause the video so you can check your spelling of the fox. And you can pause this video at any time so you can see what I've written. You might also want to write some lines in your boxes or ask an adult to help you so that you have something straight to write on. So I'm going to draw myself some lines using my ruler, not drawing them just with my pencil and no ruler. So I'm going to have a look at my first box, and we're going to have a look at the features of the text in this box. So what's the first thing that I have? What is this? It's underlined. This is our subheading. So I'm going to put subheading, and I'm going to underline it again so that I know that we always have our subheading underlined. Now we're going to look at this part of the text. What does this tell us? Foxes are part of the dog family. There are 25 different sorts of fox. Foxes live all over the world in different climates. So this tells us which family dogs are in and where they live. So I'm going to do some bullet points. Which family the animal is in. Oh, I have spelt that wrong, so I'm going to cross it out and I'm going to write animal above. Which family the animal is in, and then I'm going to write where they live. So those are my first two features of my text. My next paragraph in this box, foxes normally live for around 9 years, but many live a shorter life because they live in dangerous cities. So this paragraph is telling me about the lifespan, how long a fox lives. So I'm going to put my next bullet point, lifespan of the animal. And I'm going to remind myself what lifespan means by writing in brackets how long it lives for. So there I have boxed up my first box of the text. Now let's have a look at this star shape. We're going to look back at our text and we're going to read it together. You read it with me. Did you know foxes talk to each other by barking and growling? So what is this box telling us? Have a think. What is this box telling us? Foxes talk to each other by barking and growling. So it's our did you know question. So I'm going to write did you know, and I'm going to run out of room there. Question. And then it tells us how foxes communicate. It tells us how foxes talk to each other. So, how the animal communicates. Again, you might want to pause so you can have a look at everything we've written and make sure you've got it on your sheet as well. Next up, we're going to have a look at this little section here. It's not in a box, but it's another fact. What do foxes look like? Foxes in England are red or brown. They are a little bigger than the size of a cat. So in here, on this subheading, again, which we've already got underlined, we're going to write what the animal looks like. And then we're going to have a look. What does it tell us? It tells us what the animal looks like and how big it is. So we've got foxes living in England are red or brown, that's what they look like, and they are a little bigger than the size of a cat, so how big it is. So my first point, what does it look like? And remember, you've also got your photos to help you with what it looks like. And how big is the animal? Miss Bangham's finding it tricky to spell animal today. So, here we have, what's this again? Our second photo of the fox. So in this box I'm going to write second photo of the fox. And then we are moving on to this box, which is our second information box, and this is about where the animal lives. So let's read it together. You're going to read it with me. Foxes live underground. They dig themselves a cosy home called a den. They are very sociable animals and live in a group called a skulk. In England, many foxes live in towns or cities so that they can scavenge food. Other foxes live in the countryside. So I'm going to put my subheading in with more information about where the animals live. So in the first box we have our where they live in terms of where they live in the world. This box is telling us about their habitat, so where they live, what their homes are like. So where the animal lives. And Miss Bangham hasn't made her line quite long enough, so we're just going to make the line a little bit longer so our whole subheading is underlined. So foxes live underground. So this box tells us about their habitat and what their home is called. Their home is called a den, and they're very sociable. It tells us about the animal's behaviour, what they do. So this box tells us, again, where the animal lives. Put my full stop on the end. It tells us what their home is called. And it tells us what a group of them is called. Foxes, a group of foxes is called a skulk. And then we're going to look at our second paragraph in this box. In England, many foxes live in towns or cities so that they can scavenge food. Other foxes live in the countryside. What is their habitat? So this is what my second box looks like. You might want to pause the video so you can have a look at what I've written and check your spellings. And then we're going to move on to our third paragraph. Let's read it together. What do foxes eat? Foxes hide food close to their home and save it for later. They eat berries, worms, spiders and other small animals. City foxes often look for food in the rubbish we throw away, so make sure you keep your wheelie bin shut tight. So we need to put our line for our subheading. So this is the diet, what they eat, the diet of the animal. So this tells us foxes hide food close to their home and save it for later. This tells us where they keep their food. So I'm going to write where the animal keeps its food. What else does it tell us? They eat berries, worms, spiders and other small animals. So it tells us what the animal eats. City foxes often look for food in the rubbish we throw away, so make sure you keep your wheelie bin shut tight. So that's telling us a fact, a fun fact about their food. And there we finished our third box. And we have two more sections to go. We have our, what's this? Our wow fact. Foxes are nocturnal. This means they sleep in the day and are awake at night. So we've got our wow fact. And it tells us when the animal sleeps. Miss Bangham is really finding it tricky to spell animal today. When the animal sleeps. And finally, we have our last picture. Photo 3 of the fox. So your boxing up should look like this. Here's mine. I've got my title, I've got my photo, I've got my first box, I've got my did you know box, my second photo, another fact, my second box, my third box, my wow fact, and my third photo. You might want to pause this video at any point so that you can have a look at what I've written, and I'll post a photo of this as well. So good luck with that, and if you have any questions, just message me on Dojo.